The Irish Trotter Podcast with Mark and Sean Kane.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to episode 3 of the Irish Trotter Podcast, brought to you by myself, Sean Kane, and a good-looking fella there. We keep digging him up. We're trying to find him a moment somewhere. It's Mark Kane. And just to let you know, if you're sick of looking at us, you can listen to our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Mark, we've got a 5-star review there already from somebody, so we have a fan. Just one.
I think that was your mum.
All right. So today we've got 3 races to go to review over, and then we're going to kick into this weekend's racing in Portmarnock. So Mark, take her away.
Yeah, good to see, Sean. You hung up 2 sets of colours to get double the stick for what you got hanging up 1 set last week. So can't wait to hear lads abuse you on Sunday.
Well, a well-known driver, he actually forgot what my colours looked like, so I just hung up a second set for him.
Yeah, I think he was taking the piss shot. Yeah, so first race we'll have a look at in Annigmore was the first 3-year-old trot up there the weekend. Tough conditions in Annigmore on Saturday. Track wasn't in good condition, being honest about it. I mean, no offence to anyone, it was borderline unraceable. I understand that we had a bit of bad weather during the week, but it is an all-weather track. Probably should be in better nick than that, to be honest. We've got a big race meeting on up there the back end of the year, the 3-year-old Le Trot finals, and that's on in the middle of October. And I think if we're planning on having ourselves a week of glorious sunshine in the lead up to that, we're probably kidding ourselves on a little bit. So I don't know, maybe that's something that we need addressed. Anyway, yeah, so the first race was the 3-year-old trot. Harry Lee won this for John Ritson from Alan Wallace with High Fidelity. The two of these were kind of up on the band for most of the race. Our own Harry Knowles had a little bit of an accident at home during the week. He raced in a Hackamore. He wasn't in love with it. Hazardous for Alan Wallace Jr. and Hurricane Star didn't just look the most straightforward at the back of the field. Fairly kind of slow motion stuff watching this. John Ritson thought it looked really straightforward. Maybe not the quickest, but very straightforward. And I'm sure to be a winner for High Fidelity soon on Alan Wallace.
Yeah, no, it definitely was for anybody that's against trotting, it was a race for them to be saying about. It was a race that I wouldn't have minded having a horse in it, but to watch it was probably a little bit painful. We move on to race 2 there, the Juvenile Fillies, 1,200 first prize. Nice chunk of money there. It's a great series that we started up with the loss of the VDM. It's great to have something there that we pulled together, and it's brilliant. Gypsy Queen, 12-length winner, 2, 9 and 4. Nothing really else there. Patrick Kane there, let's get to it. Made a skip there already, very eye-catching with a bit of speed. Did make another little bubble there, but that's probably one to watch. But Gypsy Queen was the queen of the day in that event, that's for sure. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I kind of flagged Gypsy Queen up as being a short price favourite. It would win like a short price favourite, and it did. Never looked in any danger. Decent run by Mahogany Charm in second, and let's get to what I'd say is maybe more next year's proposition, but looks a nice horse.
Yeah.
Next race after that was the 2-year-old Colts race, which was won by Bequest. 2 from 2 now for this lad for Murphys from Cork. I made a long spin up on Saturday to Annigmore. Churchill Frankel second for Bernard Nicholson. I would imagine if Bernard could go back to Saturday morning when he was eating his cornflakes, he would try this race slightly differently. I was chatting to him during the week, and he wasn't too happy with himself there. But this is a really nice colt as well. Done a lot of hard work on the outside, and going forward, I think there's not a whole lot between these two lads going forward, and it's a good race to watch. Our own Portstown Roma back in Tour will be all about for a bit of experience, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely it was a funny sort of race, and Bernard, I'm sure he'll get there again, and he'll go to war again. I'll be looking forward to following that one. We'll move on then. Sorry, everybody, I just got my little notes here. It's the most prepared I've ever been for anything in my life. I'm still making a mess of it. But we'll move on then to the second division of the 3-year-old trot, which went to my own Hot to Trot. Well, I say my own, it's Mary. Mary done an absolute starlet job with this one. She was bought cheap, very cheap. There was a reason for that. There was a big reason for that. But Mary, against my advice, stuck with the horse, trained all winter, and she's definitely the most improved horse I've ever trained. and I was absolutely delighted for her. Humble beginnings, race a tough trip, done it the hard way, done it tough, playing into Hot Trot's hands there a little bit at the finish. She's a tough little filly we have, and she just grind her down. My own filly, Highlands Princess, who I was driving, we were sharp into the first bend. We probably drove her in there a little bit too fast. JR poked back up the inside and closed the door, and away I went galloping. But Henry Ford was a little bit disappointing there also. He was a smashing winner on his debut. He disappointed there for us, and he Meadowbranch whacked away on the inside, and I think the ground maybe got the better of him as well as the pressure coming from Humble.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Humble again had a rough trip on the outside. I think Martin Loughran said that he wasn't the horse wasn't in love with the mud on his face on the rail, so he pulled him out to kind of give him a bit of a clearer run, but obviously gave himself a bit more work to do. But yeah, no, Hot Trot looked really straightforward. Handy catch throw for Bernard Nicholson. Yeah, now we're all delighted for Mary, I think, to go and win that race.
Yeah, I know.
The next.
Bernard gave her a great sprint, to be fair to him. He just set up on her. Now we've no warm or something like that. Nobody knew what she was like. He jumped up, perfect drive, outdrove us all, and fair play to him, delighted. Yeah.
The next race on the card was the 3-year-old fillies race. This was a straight rematch from the last run. 3 went to post. All bets are off was a good winner here for Gavin Murdoch, who's flying at the minute. That was his double up from Gypsy Queen earlier on in the day. This was very well supported just before the off. Rainbow Rider led away for Patrick and was tracked by All Bets Are Off until the bottom of the back straight. Gavin pulled out and just went straight by. Wasn't a great run by Rainbow. But taking nothing away from the winner was very good, and they were expecting a big run with the way it was punted beforehand. Churchview Niche wasn't in love with the conditions, was a galloper from the gate, and just never got into the race after that.
Yeah, I think as you were saying about the conditions earlier, kind of there's a lot of horses on this card we're going to be speaking about. They weren't going to be exactly in love with it, and yeah, I thought Rainbow Rider, like looking where she was, I thought she was just gonna pull away, but All Bets Are Off. Just that's very tough. But they're going again. Race 6 on the day was a free-for-all trot. I had a runner in this one, Bingo the Con for Calvin Brocken. He stepped out the gate pretty good, but we couldn't hold off Abraham. He was the main man. We tucked in behind him. Prior to Simon there, he slowed it up. He got a good trip in. He would have probably wasn't too happy with his horse himself. He probably didn't finish as strong as he wanted. And in the end, Solando the Tom just rolled over the top of us. And fair play.
Yeah. Solando's won a couple of these races by more or less not being involved in the race. Like he was still last, turning into the bottom corner. He was the only one who didn't use any petrol, trying to make ground early on. And he's won a couple of races by that. Good drive by John O'Cowden, and yeah, maybe not a great run by Abraham from the front end, but I'm sure there'll be more to come from him before the end of the year.
Yeah. He's getting used to these. He's banging out a few of these good drives now, isn't he? Upstage and all.
Yeah, he's not doing so bad. The next race on the card was the 3-year-old Colts and Geldings, which was a winner for Oakwood Cowboy. Another first-time out winner for Gavin Murdoch after being switched from the Quill stable. Rory McNulty took the reins here in his own horse. Absolutely bolted away from the starting gate. Looked really, really strong. Now Ryan rolled up in Meadowbranch Rio just after the quarter. He took over. Rory wasted no time and pulling again, coming to the half. Sort of doing a bit of the life sign move, pulled again, straight back to the front. And I think once he hit the front, he never looked in any danger. It was a really good run by Cowboy. IB Paddington ran on well for third. Our own Lord Sugar was another one who wasn't in love with conditions. He broke away from the gate, which is very unlike him. But good run by Oakwood Cowboy for Rory McNulty's new purchase. And look, there's a lot of there can be a lot of sniggering and stuff like that goes on in our sport sometimes between people. Rory gave a really good price for this horse. He's entitled to have a good horse, and Quill sourced this horse a 2-year-old. Murphy's done all the work for him as a 2-year-old. Quill's are more or less pre-trained this year, so well done to everyone involved in this horse. It looks like a really nice horse going forward.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. It was a good race. There was a serious downpour. That was the start of the rain coming. And Rory McNulty, fair play to him. Real cowboy and Indian drive for him. But he got around there anyway, delighted for him. Then we move on to the last race today, which was the third handicap pace. This is over a mile and a quarter, and it's good to see a little bit of variety in the distance too. You know, it's something that we don't really do too much. In the end, they went to Pan Am Colt, but there was a lot of speed early from Paradise Western and Foxfield Stephen. Foxfield Stephen was very impressive away because Paradise Western is one of the fastest horses in the country out the gate, and he held them off. Maybe that cost him in the end because he didn't really have a whole lot in the end of the race. But it looked to me like it was going to fall into massive turn around the last bend, and Colt just rolled over the top and came out an hour. Another one that Rock is one that we've been speaking about the last week. He withdrew. Withdrew on regard to operations. But yeah, that was it. What do you reckon?
Yeah, good race. Like you say, I thought it was falling into Masterplan's hands at one stage, but Pan Am Colt was really tough here. He was good for the Europe. So first race on the card in Palmarnock was won by Lady for Dollar and Walter Stewart. Springhill Mess Kate was the sort of the market support horse here to give Gavin Murdoch another winner. Led away, looked apart, travelled really well on front end for Gavin. Walter was in the 2-hole with Lady for Dollar. He had to switch out wide on the top corner, Walter, and when he done that, Gavin kicked and got a couple of lengths. So Dollar turned into the home straight about 4 or 5 lengths down. Done really well to actually kind of hit the line and wing going away for Walter. It was a good run by him. Springhill Visca ran very tough to finish second. He was parked out the whole trip first up with Martin. And another one that you flagged up, Sean, Laneside Louis with Ray Sheridan ran a really good race. Kind of caught in traffic problems everywhere. Stayed on really, really well at the line. This will be one to look at going forward.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, Laneside Louis there for Ray. I keep waving that flag. My arm is getting sore, but looking forward to we'll be speaking about him a little bit later. But another one there, Walter Stewart. I've heard of the headless horseman, but I never heard of a helmetless horseman. But yeah, no, fair play to them. It's great to see. Nice to watch.
Yeah.
We'll move on anyway to race 2, which is the Grade F trot. 9 went to post in this one. It's just them Grade Fs. It's like a graveyard, hard to get out of. So many people in there. In the end, it went to Flatur, another one to be previously like Mark. And Evert Dar Pet was a big improvement there from his previous runs for Oisin Quill. Flashed on very late on the outside. Little bit of messing into the first turn. I know I went up in the air. Gavin went up in the air. Yeah, but it was a fast finishing race, and it was a good one to watch, I reckon.
Yeah, good race to watch. Really good run from Flatur. Bright galloped on the first turn, then sat first up the whole race and just blew past him as if it only joined in with a quarter mile left to go. Really good run by him.
Yeah, no, that's for sure.
Yeah, the next race on the card was a G1 pace. This was won in the end by Lady for Buck. Again, another winner for Gavin Murdoch. A man who's flying at the minute. Really convincing winner, won by 10 lengths. Clear to the front, just up the back straight from Pancam Mystery. Yeah, they went a fair pace up front in this. I think it was Kenwood Tribute was involved in the early pace with Pancam Mystery. Dark Hill John Joe was there as well. They kind of gapped a little bit to some of the other horses, but yeah, Lady for Buck was really impressive in the closing stage. I think this is one that's maybe earmarked to go away at the end of the season, and definitely looks like he's probably going to be good enough to as well.
Yeah, the way Gavin is going there, I reckon he can put green colours on a donkey and he probably get one over the line. No, that was good. It was a good race to watch anyway. And yeah, we wish him the best of luck in the future with the horse. We move on then to the Grade E trot, which non-runner in here was Alcazar de Zien from Martin Lockwood stable. He prefers to go the clockwise direction, and that's why he scratched, I think, in the end. 4 went to post. Me with 2 runners. Didn't win it. Would you believe it? Uldum and Alpha blasted out to the gate. Probably got himself a little bit too keen. Fractions were all slow. Probably should have just kicked him home, but it didn't happen. When we got to Aiden's paddock there, the lights were out, show was over. But in the end, Urbano's a professional as well. He's another 12-year-old horse there that's been racing real tough for his whole career. And fair play to him. He's going to Charlie Flanagan. I thought she was going to ping on back and get there. But Billy just had too much class and too much experience, I think, over the horse in the way.
Yeah, I fancied your horse here, Liam Alpha. I fancied him. He actually cost me a few quid in the bookies with him, a small few quid in the bookies. But yeah, I thought he had everything his own way in the front end. I wouldn't call it a very good run from him, as I'm sure you wouldn't either. I thought, with the fractions you were setting, I thought you were just kind of getting ready just to roll away whenever you wanted. But look, it wasn't to be this time. But look, I'm sure there'll be another day for him. But yeah, Arbarno is a really solid horse in these grades, and the race kind of fell into his hands really.
Yeah, no, I think there's a few stables, we're all suffering from this mystery virus. No coughs, no snots, no temperatures, bloods are good, horses are shy.
Yep.
What can we do?
Yeah, look, there'll be other days. The next race on the card was a pace. I backed you in the last race, Sean, after tipping you up in the podcast last week. I really tipped up Riz Rival, and to be honest, I don't think there was going to be any backing him anyway. I think the lads beat me to the punch there. Riz Rival led away here for Billy Roach as I thought he would. He never seen a rival. Look, this horse looked really impressive. He came his back half in 58. I think he went 2 minutes altogether, maybe a little bit faster actually. But look, it was a really, really good run for Rival. He's prepped for the Red John now. That's where he's going to go. Big improver in second was Austin Good, who then scored in Cork the next day, was sharp for the run. Another big improver was Foxfield Magician for Billy Roach. And I thought Rival really looked good here.
Yeah, no, it was a good race. He actually pulled up 159 flat there, and it was a nice block. As I say, there was a good few of your first three horses all were big improvers, and your last four were all disimprovers. But good race, and it's good to see Seamus getting back on the board there, even though it's second place, but he rolled up a double in Cork then the next day, so good to see him back. We'll move on to race 6 of the day, the Grade C Trot. 5 went to post here, which they ended up going to Bellevue de Vavon for John Richardson and the Meadowbranch Stables. Donald was in second, and our own Aban de Hallan, sorry, not our own, our good friend Patrick Hills, Aban de Hallan was in third. The other one we didn't really know last time was that Kuma Wind. Looks a nice horse, probably needed the run or two, maybe a little bit more experience around the track, and it'll be one to watch. It was a slow sort of race, John. John got his fractions bang on. I think he pulled into the mile in 2:10, came his last half in 1:2, and I probably thought Patrick should have got going a little bit early with the slow pace. His mare's a real tough grinder, but that's how it went anyway. But went to the Meadowbranch Stables with Bellevue de Vavon.
Yeah, I kind of said in the podcast last week that the only way a bad Helen could get B here would be as if it turned into a false race, and it turned into a really false run race with a 2:10 mile. John Richardson, he knew he had plenty of speed under his bonnet there. He didn't want it to turn into a slog, so he just took it as easy as he could on the front end. And yeah, look, a good run by John as well, and a welcome winner for a stable that, again, like ourselves, probably just hasn't hit top form yet.
I reckon Patrick Hill doesn't follow the podcast then, does he? He mustn't have been listening to you.
He's not going to follow her after this anyway. So the next race on the card was a pace. John Richardson led away here with Meadowbranch Duke, tried to make all similar to the race before. A Kind of Magic ended up picking this up in the end for Alan Wallace, who, look, Kind of Magic's been in very good form the last few weeks. He wasn't on the card when we done this podcast last week. If he was, I think I would have flagged him up. But look, it was a good run by Kind of Magic. Not a bad run at all for Meadowbranch Duke in second with John Richardson. A really good run from Mahogany Dreamer, who was parked for the whole trip and was like to run on for third. Was a really good run here. He's one maybe to keep an eye on going forward.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Yeah, John had a few. He enjoyed the race after. He said it was something like from the 80s, real old school driving, and even in Alan's post race interview, like the two lads seemed to love it. Just bring it back their youth. But Mahogany Dreamer, John Malone, he has a new guy in the game. I think it was his second or third drive. A little bit novice, but look, he's out there, he's having fun, and he's probably going to learn as he goes. And I was looking forward to him getting a win. Move on then to the Grade D Trot. This one was won by Dolavert in the end. He was absolutely flying. There's one that we were speaking about a little bit. Mark was a winner on his debut, and absolutely delighted for him. 3:08 and 7, fastest mile and a half of the year, I would reckon. In this race here, I ended up picking up. I actually think this is how a catch drive is defined. Alan Wallace was on the ground earlier in the day. He was a little bit hurt. He couldn't hang on to Boyrado, caught the false start. So what does Sean do? Sean runs out, catches the horse, brings the horse off the track, goes back to finish his coffee, and then gets a nod to drive the horse. So I think that's how the catch drive was defined. But it didn't matter anyway. The horse was fair tired out. He raced his heart out, but the mile and a half got him in the end. But Dolivert, everybody was chasing him then.
Yeah, good run by Dolivert. Looked apart for Wayne Swindle. Really good run. Really good run by Emperor Silverhand. In the end as well. He caught my eye there. He was parked out the whole trip and was still thereabouts late on. Dennis Riley's done a really good job with this horse because I know he's not the most straightforward in the world. Yeah, so good run by Dolivert and good run by Emperor Silverhand, I think. Yeah,
no, definitely. Biliano too. Like Biliano, the car was slow away. I don't know what happened there, but he was pushing the car away. Maybe the race might have been shaped out a little bit different if that happened. He got hampered a little bit early, but 3:09 and 5 for Biliano, still super clock, and he's going to be a horse to keep eye out in the future. As we were speaking about there last week, now the Ballawee Festival was called off this year, and they had the races on the Tuesday. Due to a heavy rain forecast on the Tuesday, they brought the races back forward to the Monday. So we had races Saturday, Sunday, and Monday in all three regions. So it's brilliant. It's one of the best things I think we've ever done now is to stop racing against each other and give people the opportunity to race in different regions. I'm probably the only one that was mad enough to enter horses in all three regions. But sure, look, we got there anyway. Hail Caesar took out the first one, Patrick Hill. It was a horse was a little bit of a headache for him at the beginning of the year, and I think he was even looking to sell him for a while. And he ran a good race. He changed his tune. He got the win of the day. On a code for Philip Gilligan and Richard Phelan took out the next race there, and he's been a horse who's been knocking on the door. He makes a skipper two here or there, costs himself, but it's good to see them getting him over the line. Destin Delar took out the trot for Seamus Quill. This was his the start of his double for the day, and Savannah Bello, the aged horse, in 2. Mayona Mendecosta was very improved. She finished in 3rd. Awesome Dude doubled up after racing in Portmarnock the previous day for Seamus Quill, and it turned into a nice little ding dong between him and his brother Usheen. So it was probably nice to get one over him. Usheen's been doing a lot of winning lately. Seamus is getting pushed further and further into the shadows, but he fought back today and got a double. My own trotter Ducio, he took out the next race over a 1.5 mile distance. He led from start to finish. He absolutely raced hard out. He raced super, and we're very happy with him. Benny Camden has been extremely impressive in his qualifiers I've seen there last week, and it turned into a bit of a 3-horse race there. Reeds Panache was on a 3 in a row, going in for 4. Looked to be good, but Benny was all over him and just out sprinted him really home. He got past him by the road. The last race of the day turned into a 2-horse race between Lincoln Light, Meadowbranch, Genian and Luke Keller. It ended up going to Lindsay Light in the end. Damon led away, 2-horse race. John attacked and prevailed the last lap, and he took on home. Another thing I'd like to mention there on the way home, Ducio actually took a fit of colic on the way home, and thankfully he's okay. But I just have to say a big thank you to Lucy Keller, who sorted me out. She's one of our own from the sport, and we brought Ducio straight to better at Coin Centre, and we stayed the night there in the end. And Lucy was actually on call as an intern, and she was up with him all night and done a smashing job. He's at home here now in the paddock, and we're delighted to have him come. I've also a big thanks to Hannah Richardson and Calvin Brockham, who were part of the team at getting him home. Young Calvin, he was in the back with the horse keeping him calm, and done a great job. And Hannah was in the front of the truck with me, keeping me calm. And we made a few decisions, and we went with the best one in the end. And so Ducio will be back by the end of the month. Fingers crossed, all going well.
Yeah, fair play. Good to hear that the horses are right. Good to hear that horses are right. We'll maybe move on to having a quick look through some of the weekend's cards here. And we'll start off with Cork being the first meeting to come this weekend. Again, the Emmanuel Field on Saturday. So your first race down in Cork is a pace. We've got IBA Warrior, JB, Frankie Camden, Riverdance Hanover, and IB Felicity. JB has his first run for the Philip Gilligan stable. Ned Stafford put an awful lot of time and work into this horse over the winter before he sold him, the winter and spring before he sold him, and he's had to join a very, very informed team. So he's one that can maybe bring about a little bit of improvement. I'll be a warrior. I'll try to make all from one. Not a bad run from him last week, and IB Felicity was qualifying very impressively earlier on in the year. I think this one's going to be between JB and IB Felicity.
Yeah, no, I think IB Warrior. I think IB Warrior will be there too. No, I don't think it's going to be straight between them two. But it'll be a good race to watch, for sure. We'll move on then to race 2, which is the top 5 go to post here. Destin Delar, Bella Despana, Savannah Bello, Happy to Leon, and Valiant Forjon. Valiant Forjon has been a really noticeable improvement for Jamie Hurley. He was no racing room last week. We want to watch for this week. Destin Delar, big improver too. For Seamus was driving last week. Timber looks like he's back in the book to repeat. Savannah Bello was classy. Yeah, it's a racing go anyway. The Savannah Bello would be the horse for me, but he raced second last week. I think he's going to strive him closer.
Yeah, like you say. So Savannah Bello's got a lot of class for down in that sort of grade. He could be the one to be on side off there. Now, the next race on that card is back to another pace. We've got Just a Promise, Honor Code, Faraday's Break, Call for Bruce, and Awesome Dude. But I imagine it's going to be a bit of pace on here to try and get to the first corner. Just a Promise didn't run too bad with racing Portmarnock last week. Honor Code obviously was a winner down there last week. Faraday's Break and Call for Bruce will probably both have to improve. But I'd like to look at Awesome Dude in here for Seamus to try and make it 2 in a row. A really good run behind Rival in Portmarnock on Saturday, and then a winner down in the Manway on Monday. He's got a lot of class. I think he's got a little bit more class than what he's running against here. And yeah, I fancy Awesome Dude to make it 2 in a row.
Yeah, I'll be the same opinion, Mark. The Awesome Dude, I think Seamus had always said to me previously didn't have great grass form, but he certainly drove it out of him last week, and I reckon he's going to do it again this week. We'll move on then to our next trot, which is a handicap and F2C trot, which Dina Washington, Bruton or Belkalina, Bippy Dark Pet, and All the Hell On again. Bippy Dark Pet was a noticeable improver in his last start. He was a smashing horse last year. He hit the crossbar his first two starts. It's great to see him back for the Ivy stable to compete. There's three on the gate here. I think I'm getting substituted in here on Dina Washington. She's a very, very fast filly. Really, really good looking filly, and the lads in the home did a super job with her. So we're making a long drive down. I don't like coming home without a winner. So I think I'm going to say that because I have to say that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It looks like a good race. I like to look at Bruton here. Just if he manages to get loose on the pointy end, I know you'll be doing everything in here. You'll be doing everything in their power to make sure that doesn't happen. But look, Bruton's been running good for Patrick Hill and was a winner down there already, course and distance winner. So yeah, this will be an interesting race. Yeah, the next pace on the card is a 5-runner for Let's Party, Supreme Sunshine, Ritz Panache, Benny Camden, and Meadowbranch Demon. Again, this has been another one with plenty of early pace. Let's Party, a former Corby Wood runner, so he knows all about trying to leave a gate. Supreme Sunshine, a very good horse in his own right, and Ritz Panache in great form this year. I do think that Benny Camden will win this. I think Benny looked super impressive last week. He played with him. Donald kind of minded him around and never even asked him to run till he got over the road, and he put the race to bed in 3 or 4 strides. He's a very good horse, also being primed for the Red John pace, and I think he'll win this.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably going to turn back into a battle between Ritz Panache and Benny Camden again, with Benny coming out on top. But, we're looking for a race to watch. It's a small race, small field, but it looks like it's got plenty of action in the first. We'll move on then to the last race 6 of the day. Then 7 go to post here. Hail Caesar, which is the previous winner, off 10 yards. I don't think the 10 yards is going to affect him too much. Sugarcane Howard and Philip Gilligan draw 1. They were a non-runner last week. Darkhill John J. Rider Redemption was second for Christopher Riley the week previous. Meadowbranch Romance, Merseyside Moira, she's been thereabouts. To be honest, I think this race is going to probably go to Ride of Redemption and Chris O'Reilly. He was valiant in defeat to Hail Caesar, and now he's got a 10-yard head start. I think he could be his day.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of Redemption bar. I think around the qualifier, maybe it was a workout I might seen on early on in Potmarnock. But look, Chris trains around that field. Right Redemption, I'm sure knows every blade of grass on it, and does look like a decent horse. Chris does a good job with his horses. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I wouldn't be turning anyone off him.
Yeah, no, that's for sure.
Yeah, so look, we'll move on to having a quick look through the Potmarnock card. First race on that card is a pace, I think, isn't it?
No, it's trot. 3-year-old trot.
Go ahead, John. Take it away.
First race, a 3-year-old trot. 6 down the post here. I've got my own Homer Oakwood drawn 1, Hail Mary from the Malone Stadium 2, High Voltage from Billy Roach, Holloway Road and Patrick Hill making his debut start, Hazardous and Hyoinka for Kieran Sheety stable. Looking at this, my own Homer Oakwood, I think he really did hit the crossbar on his debut. Things weren't going right. He wasn't too happy, but he's full of aggression and full of no trot. He's been training good, very good. I've been very pleased with him. If he doesn't show, put a big performance in for himself, I'll be very disappointed here. Hail Mary is another one that has a ball of speed and could be anywhere. High Voltage also trot around pretty good in his qualifiers. And I'm looking forward to this race.
Yeah, best of luck. I would fancy your horse in here as well from his qualifying runs, Homer Oakwood. Yep, the next race on the card is a pace that we have a look at here. Pancam Mystery, Castlewood Glensman, Canewood Tribute, Newtown Scooter, Mesmerized, and Oakwood Maverick are the G's, and the 2 G1s are Sharp as Attack and Stateside Vogue. Someone's going to come in for a catch drive on Canewood Tribute here. Alan Wallace will drive his own Newtown Scooter, I'd imagine. Last week's run for Pancam Mystery was quite good. Chasing home Lady for Book. I think he's going to try and lead away from the one hole as well. This race for me has to be between Pancam Mystery and Sharp as Attack for John Richardson. But Sharp's Attack will have to come back to the form that showed earlier on in the season. But I think Dan Carlin's Castlewood Glensman with you drive, he's going to have his day at some stage, but he has to be able to get away from starting gate a little bit better than he has been. And look, these are going to be fast away here. I think he can be out to see a little bit. But yeah, for me, Pancam Mystery drawn 1, he could be a winner this week.
Yeah, no, I think you're right there. The one and the 3 horse are both extremely fast away from the gate, and that's probably not going to do the Glensman too many favours there with them putting all the pressure on him early. Yeah, Sharp's Attack is one that I flagged here too, but as you say, with the front two going to be going so fast, she's going to have her work cut around to get around a bit of traffic in that too. But it'll be a good Swindle stable there in serious form, and this is one they've had for a while, and he's got a ball of speed, and hopefully they get it over the line. If he can get it over this week, it's definitely going to come soon.
Yeah.
We'll move on to race 3, which is the second of our 3-year-old trots. This is probably your classier 3-year-old trot with your few. My own Happy 50, Harry Knowles, Pease Meadowbranch, High Fidelity, Harley Lee, and Hibernia from the Richardson stable, Alan Richardson stable. My own Happy 50 was third on her debut. She made a few little skips. We've trained. She's been a bit racetrack shy. We've had her up there. We've double-headed her there a few times. So she's a big filly. She's got to learn her own way around. But I'm hoping she's going to be in the top 3 again. Harry Knowles, I know he's one of your horses, Mark. He's probably been frustrated his last 2 times in the start, but he's definitely your horse that could win this race if he was right. But I don't want to keep talking about that because he's got to do it on race day. Really, he's Meadowbranch, very fast away. Probably could be your early leader again. Harley Lee probably has to improve a little bit here, although she was a winner on her debut. I think it was like 11 seconds in the difference of the races. It's a big jump in class. And Hibernia galloped away, didn't really make any effort up and or probably put it down to track position. So they'll be looking to make it right again.
Yeah, exactly. Look, Harry Knowles has started short price favourite in his 2 runs so far, and they've not gone to plan. I'd imagine he won't start favourite here. Look, he's got a bit of ability, but he has to learn how to put it together on race day as well. So yeah, look, this is an interesting race. Hibernia on his 4th run would have a good chance, or not on his Alkmaar run. It'd be interesting. Look, these races could go anyway, and we're still kind of learning about them. The next race on the card is a pace. We've got Mahogany Dreamer, Lionside Louis, Ernie Stream, Indy Hanover, Colford Ollie, and I Be Notorious. I find this interesting because Mahogany Dreamer, I'd imagine, is going to get a good trip, which he hasn't been getting from the one draw, and so is Lionside Louis from the two draw. I would think. I'd imagine Ray is going to be putting the gas on out the gate to try and lead. This is a really interesting race. I fancy Lionside Louis from last week's run. Colford Ollie was quite good at Anigmar, to be fair. Ernie Stream's going to have to kind of come back to last year's back end of the season form to figure here, but yeah, for me, I fancy Lionside Louis to get Ray off the mark for the season, and I hope he does too.
Yeah, no, I fancy Laneside Lure there myself. Mahogany Dreamer, it'd be good to see him getting a nice trip. He's probably going to, if he gets a conservative trip, who knows, he could come out and run over the top of them. There's actually a little bit of a match race going on here between I Be Notorious and Laneside Louis with Wayne and Ray. Two close friends, a bit of slagging. But, sorry Wayne, I think Ray's going to come out on top this week. We'll move on then to the trot, the grade C, B and A handicap over 1 mile. So we've got 8 going to post here. Donald, Flingy, Kuma Win, Bingo Speed, Curly de Leon, Strike on the Courier, Jean Louis Parjean, and Beat the Bellaway. There's a lot of really nice horses in that race. And, you know, there's probably not one in that race I wouldn't like to have in my stable. For me, Donald off 1, super horse, Corio Flingy, another super horse. To be honest, I'm not really sure what way that's going to go. I think whoever leads is probably going to be hard to get rid of. Yeah,
look, it's an interesting race, and this is one of those races that you could run it 10 different times and get 10 different winners. It'd be really interesting to see. I'll be interested to see which one of his runners Martin Loughran picks to drive. I do like Curly de Leon. I like Curly de Leon a lot, and I like Donald's a good horse in there drawing 1. So yeah, this will be an interesting race, and I wouldn't like to stick my neck out and pick a winner this one long. The next race we'll have a look at is a pace. This kind of they kind of start up in tiers a little bit here. This has the makings of a good race. Crack a Smile, Dragon's Den are the 2 off the gate. Pan Am Colt, Newtown Rock would start in the 2nd line. Masterplan starts on his own in the 3rd line. Yeah, look, Crack a Smile has a good draw, I think, for the first time this year. He's going to have his hands full, I think, with some of these, though. I can see John Richardson leading away with Dragon's Den from 2. But the look that I'll become gunning for him. Pan Am Colt was really good in Anigmar for Billy Roach. Newtown Rock has been really good all season. Like you say, pulled out of Anigmar due to track conditions. If he was my horse, I would have done the very same thing. And Masterplan, like I say, look, Masterplan, I thought the race was going to fall into his lap a little bit in Anigmar last week, but I do think that he's been trained with Cork in mind. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a tiny bit of improvement still left in his locker. Look, I fancy Newtown Rock here, but he's not going to have an easy time. He's probably going to have to crush forward from his draw, I think. So yeah, look, this will be a good race to watch. Yeah,
no, definitely. We've got a real unusual kind of setup now going into these big races where normally you'd be training the mind and stuff like that. But now everybody's got a race. They're getting race fit. So they're letting the racing sharpen them up for this big Red John Festival that's coming up. And it's another race I'm looking forward to watching. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We'll move on then to race 7, which is the F&E handicap trot. And Eva Darpet won off the gate. Ushin Quill was eye-catching performance there last week, and this is probably going to be another front-running race. Toy Fee's been really good this year. A horse I have to my stable belonging to Andy McTaggart, Traeger's Aram. She made a skip into the first turn last week. She came her last mile in the quarter in 2:36. She was very, very good. She stayed on for a small horse, which is surprising when you look at the size of her, but she's a nice filly. Is she good enough to win today? I'm not too sure. Darren Timlin, Flateur, absolutely on a rampage. He's got loads of speed. He's trailing 10 yards here. He's probably not going to get it in his way that he can ping out and go straight to the front. Fortune de Genoy for Simon Duggan. Also another one that's going to be stuck in behind traffic. And I think Eva Darpet is the one that I fancy to win.
Yeah, Eva Darpet was an eye catcher last week. But look, Flateur doesn't have to get away from the front. Flateur sat on the outside last week and still had too much of him coming home. I like Flateur in this race. I think he looks like a very good horse. Been sort of rumours circulating around during the week that will we say a prominent Dublin horse owner has weighed in and bought half of this Flateur off Darren Timlin, so I don't know, maybe we'll hear more about that over the weekend. But yeah, look, I like Latour here, but even their pet was a big improver for the Quails, and look, Oisin knows his job too. So yeah, this will be another interesting race.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So the next pace on the card, Amy Camden, Foxfield Stephen, Newtown Major, Foxfield Magician, A Kind of Magic, and Meadow Branch Roman. This is going to be a bit of early on here. New Foxfield Stephen dropped back down in class after giving his handicap away and running credibly in the mile and a quarter last week in Anigmore. He likes the lead. Newtown Major is in there off 3. I don't have the full card here, Sean, but I think is Troy McAleer. Is this his driving debut at Newtown Major? Is he entered the drive?
Montreal McAleer. Oh, Marcus is up this week.
Okay, look, Marcus is up this week. Major has been absolutely flying in the qualifiers with Montreal McAleer. Troy, look, he really stoked him up last week. He went a really impressive time in his qualifier. He looked good. If Marcus gets him going as good, he's going to be thereabouts in this. Like I say, it's going to be a bit of speed on into the first corner. It was a big run last week by Foxfield Magician. A Kind of Magic is moving up in class a little bit here now steadily. Might just find things a little bit tougher. And Meadow Branch Roman has been in great form so far all year. But Foxfield Stephen and Newtown Major are going to go to war here early on, I think. I think whoever leads away is going to be the winner here.
Yeah, no, I think I like Montreal McAleer's horse there. I think he's going to rock. But Marcus has been driving good too all along. And I think that's the one for me.
Yeah, okay.
We'll move on to the Apprentice race. This is going to be another good race of the day. The Apprentice Series is a great thing that was brought up. I'm not sure where the winner of this series gets to drive. I think Oisin Quill was supposed to be headed to Russia, was it? Maybe something like that. So anyway, the winner of this series is going to get to go there. We've got Etoile Quick, and another catch driver for me is Owen Murphy. That's the first time for Owen driving a horse for me, so we wish him all well and the best of luck. Calvin Brocken in on Brazilian Match in 2. 10 yards, then we've got Etoile de Manoir, Aidan Caffrey. This is a first-time runner for him. Epsom de Corvée, Luke Timlin, Diamond Dash, John O'Cowden looking to get another winner in this series. Crazy Boy Notch and Charlie Flanagan. Valenza, Oisin Quill, and Beneview de Vavon and Aaron Flanagan. We've got one or two last start winners in this race. I think my own Etoile Quick and Brazilian Match, they're probably going to go to war a little bit early, but I think the back market is probably too good. But the mile distance only being 10 yards in between grades, I think it's probably going to go to somebody out the back.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I like the look of Epsom, the car base here. He was down good in Palmarnic last week. Darren tried to clear up the back straight, didn't work out from, got hung 3 deep around the top corner, which is a bit of a dead seat, and Palmarnic either way and went off his legs. I think if he gets a good run around, I think he's going to take a bit of beating. Fair play for giving Owen Murphy the catch drive. I'm nearly positive it's his first drive in Palmarnic, so we wish Owen the very best of luck. I'm sure he'll enjoy his day out. Yeah, look, that would be an interesting race for me. I fancy Epsom de Corvée.
Yeah.
Now, and the next trot on the card. This has to look for a very good race. Like, there's a couple of days kind of going up against each other again from last week. Emperor Souverain won, Dollar Bert, Durandal Giham, Emmerich de Peru, Bulliano, and Urbano de Cells. It'd be interesting to see how Billy Roach prefers here. Look, Bulliano was very good last week and an unlucky loser. Emmerich de Peru, who looked a very good horse last year, he makes a seasonal debut, so it'll be interesting to see what sort of nick he's in for his first run. Emperor Silveran ran a cracking race for Dennis Riley for Patrick last week for Dennis. I'm not sure if a mile is going to be his distance. I think he'll need to be on front to win this race. And look, Dollar Bert's going to start off your favourite. I think probably rightfully so. I think if he leads away and gets to the front, I think that could be the race done and dusted.
Yeah, I think this race is kind of the scratch line for the Maven Trot, isn't it? Of the Grade D's here. I think whatever's probably going to win this race is probably going to make the top 16. But Dollar Bert for me there, he's absolutely fine. It looks like he can go 2 mile, 1 mile, a quarter of a mile. It looks like he can do it all. So for me, Dollar Bert.
Yeah, exactly, and like you say, that adds a bit of extra spice to the race. I'd imagine Emperor Silver and I'd imagine them all that they'll all, maybe with the exception of Urbano, but all of these will be trying to get into the high grade of the Maven Trot. Well, not the high grade, the handicap of the Maven Trot. Every one of them will be. So it'll be. Yeah, look, there's a bit of added spice to this race. This is kind of for more than just the prize money that's on the card, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think the whole top 16 shake-up, maybe the COVID lockdown, maybe, but it's definitely made racing week to week very, very, very competitive and very hard to win a race.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's been a good call. As a lot of races could have been very cagey early on in the season, with handicaps being minded coming towards these big races, the Red John and the M50 weekends and stuff like that. But generally, horses here they're racing and they're trying, and that's what everyone wants to see. Everyone wants to see the best horses racing and the best horses trying their best to win, and that's what makes for a good racing week in, week out.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. So, Mark, I'm glad to see that you got some electricity for this week.
Paid the ESB.
You must be doing plenty of teeth.
Yeah, busy week this week. I was just wondering though, just looking at your camera, if you put them two colours a little bit further apart, do you reckon you might get your third side in there somewhere?
Hang on a minute. You probably could actually get that up there.
You actually have a third.
A fourth set there as well, if you're looking. Look, maybe for next week, Mark. Look, we'll wrap it up at that. So anyway, that's another episode over. And going forward, when we're speaking to you next week, we'll be going through our reviews and we'll be gearing up for the Red John Memorial, which is a big weekend for West Cork and a big weekend for our dear friend Red John. And really looking forward to it. And myself and Mark have something planned for Saturday night. Not a big party or anything like that, but yeah, just keep tuning Saturday night. We might have something.
Yeah, cheers. Best of luck to everyone racing over the weekend.
Okay.